We are presenting Graph 15.
HR Basics is a series of short courses designed to highlight what you need to know about a particular human resource management topic. In today's HR Basics, we explore employee discipline, discussing the approaches to and administration of discipline. Discipline is a process of corrective action used to enforce organizational rules. Problem employees are most often affected by the discipline system. Fortunately, problem employees represent a small percentage of the workforce in most organizations. However, if managers fail to deal with problem employees promptly, work outcomes are often negatively affected. Effective discipline should be aimed at problem behaviors, not at the employee's personality, because the goal is to improve performance. It's often said that 90% of aggravation for managers comes from 10% of our employees. That is, a small number of employees create the vast amount of discipline work for managers. A disciplinary process can demonstrate to employees the organization's commitment to due process and just cause in employment actions. However, managers may be reluctant to use discipline for many reasons. They include an organizational culture of avoiding discipline, lack of support by higher management, fear of loss of friendship, avoidance of time loss, and fear of lawsuits. The two most common approaches to discipline are positive discipline and progressive discipline. Regardless of approach, certain standards should be applied to the administration of employee discipline. Progressive and positive discipline represent two common approaches to discipline. The positive discipline approach builds on the philosophy that violations are actions that usually can be corrected constructively and without penalty. Progressive discipline incorporates steps that become progressively more severe and are designed to change the employee's inappropriate behavior. Progressive discipline refers to a process by which an employee with disciplinary problems progresses through a series of disciplinary stages until the problem is corrected. Most progressive discipline procedures use verbal and written reprimands and suspension before resorting to dismissal or termination. Not all steps in progressive discipline are followed in every case. Certain serious offenses are exempted from progressive procedures and may result in immediate termination.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. How are you guys? Are you guys in a good well? I hope today you all are real excited to learn new things. So this morning you will all present a topic that we have learned last week, which is disciplinary system in human resources. But before that, I will explain a little bit what is disciplinary system in human resources. What means is disciplinary. Disciplinary is relating to disciplines. Example of disciplinary in a sentence: the commit is considering disciplinary measure against him or call for disciplinary action is respond to the outrageous behavior. Discipline is the regulation and modulation of humans' activities to produce control performance. The real purpose of discipline is quite simple. That is encourage employee to conform to establish standard of job performance and to behave sensibly and safety at work. Discipline is essential to all organized group action. So discipline is an approach used by management to modify undesirable performance and behavior through that use a corrective action process at the one set of any employee performance or conduct issues. Supervisors are strongly encouraged to contact employee relations staff for assistance. Employees should receive training, coaching, and constructive feedback to assist modifying their performance. Timely, operate, and continuous feedback is essential to maintain effective performance. So interrupt behavior of performance, but evaluate a case-by-case basis judged by serving of interaction. Okay, so now I would like to invite Rafiq to explain more about disciplinary system.
Alright, sir. Discipline state of employees' self-control and orderly conduct. Disciplinary action involve a penalty against an employee who failed to meet established standards. Every organization needs an employee disciplinary system which is fair and just. Without discipline, organization cannot achieve their goal. A disciplined employee will be organized, and an organized employee will be disciplined always. Employee behavior is the base of discipline in an organization. Discipline implies conform with the code of conduct established by the organization. Discipline in an organization ensures productivity and efficiency. In short, discipline implies obedience, order line, and maintenance of proper subordination among employees, work recognition, fair and equitable treatment of employees, appropriate salary structure, effective grievance handling, and job security all contribute to the organization discipline.
Alright, excellent, Rafiq. Okay, now let's move to others point, which is progressive disciplinary system. I want Yasmin, please tell us about penalties in a progressive disciplinary system. Please.
Alright, Doctor. When drafting terms and conditions of employment, employers should consider including a clause setting out the various penalties that may be imposed if the employee is found guilty of misconduct. There are 6 things about penalties in the progressive disciplinary system. The first is oral warning. An oral warning may be appropriate when informal counseling does not alter the employee's behavior or the situation warrants moving immediately to formal discipline. 2 is first written warning. A first written warning is normally the first step an employee will take when misconduct or poor performance is confirmed. 3. Final written warning. A final written warning is an explanation by the employer in writing that there are serious conduct or capability issues that must be addressed by the employee. There any occurrence of the matters complained of are likely to result in the employee's dismissal. Next is suspension without pay. Suspension from work without pay is a disciplinary measure taken by employers typically for employee misconduct, such as theft, unsafe work behavior, or company policy violation. Next is demotion. Employee demotion is the reverse of employee promotion. It is the act of downgrading an individual's rank and status as a result of disciplinary action. Lastly is dismissal. Dismissal is the termination of employment by an employer against the will of the employee.
Alright class, now I want to tell you guys about dealing with employee problem, which is include 4 things. One is transfer, second promotion of employee, the third is grievance handling, and the fourth one is absenteeism of workers. Okay, now that is your turn, boy. Please explain to our class about transfer in dealing with employee problem.
Okay, sir. If an organization is to be competitive and successful, every employee must work toward achieving the goal of the employer. But a number of problem issues plague workers and management. So first is transfer. The later movement of employees within an organization take the place when employees move from a branch of the same organization to another branch located elsewhere. Why a transfer are necessary? This is because an employee may request reelection for personal reason, or he may ask for a change of job to provide some variety in his working life. Also, transfer are generally effected to build up a more satisfaction work team and to achieve the following purpose: to increase the effective of the organization. Second is to increase versatility and competitive of key position and to adjust the workforce. Lastly, there is also employees grievance handling and absenteeism. A worker which grievance is a dissatisfied and unproductivity worker, while what is meant by absent? If a worker is not at work, he is absent. lateness, taking extended lunch break, and not being at the required workstation are all from absent. So these issues are not confined to Malaysian worker alone, but can be found in the most industry country. So that's all from me, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thanks very much, boy. Alright, Jiha. Now, please explain how about the promotion of employee.
Alright, sir. Promotion is the reassignment of an employee to a job at a higher level in the organization. In modern societies, many individuals desire and expect to be promoted at some point in their careers. Some workers may value promotion opportunities as they can achieve a higher standard of living through the higher pay and benefits received. There are different levels of employees, from operative to supervisor to manager. There are three types of promotion for the employee. First, promotion for within policy. Most organizations have a stated policy of promoting existing staff to higher level position whenever possible. Second, formal or informal. Informal promotion systems, which are common in the smaller, non-unionized organization, exist when the decision-making process relating to promotion is kept a secret. Last but not least, criteria for promotion. Two major criteria are normally used in deciding between potential candidates for promotion. They are seniority and merit.
Thanks for your explanation, Jiha. It's great. Now, Linda, explain the grievance handling and causes.
Alright, sir. Grievance handling. What is grievance handling? Grievance handling is dissatisfied and unproductive worker. What are the causes? Okay, according to Gill's File 1981, the causes are: first, broken promises about their duties, hours of work, pay, and more. Second, inquietable pay and benefits. Third, personal and sexual harassment by the co-workers or supervisors. Fourth, dangerous or uncomfortable working conditions. 5. And the last one, unjust disciplinary action by the supervisors. Grievance can lower an organization's productivity and profitability. This is because of employees' resignations, depressions among employees, poor quality and quantity of work, high accidents and illness rates, complaints from the customers, also reduced output. What to do? Okay, this is some of useful approach that supervisors or managers can do to handle the grievance. The first one is try to handle it as soon as possible. Second, investigate and record it. Third, keep cool and calm. Fourth, listen to the employees that cause the grievance. The last one is supervisors or managers can use some of counseling skills. Grievance should be settled at the early stage so that the problem bothering the employees didn't drag for too long. Thank you.
Well done, Linda. You did very well. Okay, Zach, how about the last one, which is absenteeism of workers? Please explain.
Yes, sir. Alright. There is some examples about absenteeism of workers, lateness, penalties of absence, encouraging full attendance, rules, penalties and strict enforcement, rewards for work groups whose members come to work on time, special awards for individuals who have an exemplary timekeeping record. Okay, that's all from me, sir. Thank you.
Well done, class. Thank you for all this morning class. I hope you all can understand what your friends has shared about disciplinary system in human resources, and I hope you guys will understand what are you learned today. If you guys have anything to ask about disciplinary system in human resources, just ask and I will explain more. Well, meet next week. Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera, class. We are dismissed.
There are typically 4 steps in progressive discipline. Step 1. The verbal warning. The employee and manager verbally agree as to how the employee must improve. Step 2. Written reprimand. The manager and employee hold a follow-up meeting and outline a new action plan. Written documentation is kept. Step 3. Suspension. The employee is given a final warning of termination. And finally, Step 4. Termination, where termination or dismissal occurs. With positive discipline, the disciplinary process is not punitive. Rather, it focuses on constructive feedback and encourages employees to take responsibility for trying to improve their behavior or performance at work. When using the positive discipline approach, managers focus on fact-finding and guidance to encourage desirable behaviors, rather than penalties to discourage undesirable behaviors. The key to positive discipline is to help employees identify their problems early and address causes of problematic behavior. Like progressive discipline, positive discipline consists of steps. Step 1. Verbal warning. The employee and manager verbally agree as to how the employee must improve. Step 2. Written reprimand. The manager and employee hold a follow-up meeting and outline a new action plan where written documentation is kept. Step 3. Suspension, where the employee is given a final warning of termination. And finally, Step 4, where the termination occurs. Although it appears to be similar to positive discipline, progressive discipline is more administrative and process-oriented. Following the progressive sequence ensures that both the nature and seriousness of the problem are clearly communicated to the employee. Because of legal concerns as well as justice perceptions, managers must understand discipline and know how to administer it properly. An employee discipline policy must be communicated to employees and should be included in an employee handbook. The best discipline is clearly self-discipline, and most people can be counted on to do their jobs effectively when they understand what's required at work. But for some people, the prospect of external discipline helps their self-discipline. Documentation shapes expectations where coaching alone can be ineffective. Documentation shows an employee their chance to improve, creating a fair work environment. And if the employee doesn't take the opportunity, documentation is proof that the employer tried to provide the tools and resources for the employee to succeed and is evidence that a termination decision was not arbitrary. Good documentation creates credibility for the employer by showing that employees are treated in a fair and consistent manner. However, some common mistakes in documentation are made, making vague, unclear statements about what the employee needs to do to improve, adding personal attacks or subjective comments, and providing little or no evidence to support decisions to discipline or terminate an employee. Documentation can be simple and quick if employers and managers follow these 3 rules of documentation. Just do it, know your audience, and tell the story. Training for managers with regard to the discipline process should include detailed, hands-on practice in recording and documenting employee performance problems, in addition to how to hold the disciplinary meeting. An organization with a sound approach to administration of employee discipline ensures fair and consistent treatment to all employees.